Alice Dean with Dean Productions, and we're here asking people about the La Paz County Sheriff race. I wanted to ask if you'd tell us about yourself and what your name is.
My name is Frank Vidrine. I was born and raised in Parker. I graduated from high school from Seligman, Arizona. I joined the military immediately after that and played soldier for 22 years. Infantry, thank you. And then in 1989, I joined the La Paz County Sheriff's Department.
Well, thank you for your service, first of all. I hear that you know a lot of people here in Parker, and you know a lot about the town itself and then the community and also the history of it. Is there anything in that you would like to share that would be helpful to those deciding on this race?
Parker was a great place to grow up. I've seen, like you say, I've seen changes since 1985. That's when I came back. I've been back here ever since. I think the Sheriff's Department needs some restructure, but you're not going to get a law enforcement officer to say anything bad about their department as long as they're working. I wouldn't think.
One of the questions we've been asking everybody is, who are you supporting in this race and why?
I'm supporting Mr. Roth, the independent, and I've told just about everybody that this is who I'm supporting. I've even told people in the VFW upriver, where I go and have dinner. I've told people in the Elks Lodge, where I'm a member. Like we was talking about Mr. Roth at coffee today. I have coffee every day at 2:30 at one of the local restaurants. I just believe that the sheriff, being the senior law enforcement officer in the county, should be morally right, period. And by that, no playing around. No playing around with the opposite sex. Just because you may be the top sheriff or top cop in the county, married or not. You can have a girlfriend if you're single, but playing around with various women, as a single person, you have that right to do whatever you want to do, but I just don't believe it's right, especially when you already have children.
What kind of things would you tell people who are on the fence because they know a certain candidate for their service and just their community, their output in the community? What would you say to those who are on the fence or voting the other way?
Well, I get good and bad vibes from people on Mr. Roth when I talk to them, and I said, well, Mr. Roth tells everybody that will listen that he's been arrested more times than anybody, but he's never been convicted. And so what kind of a police force are you having where he lives that every time he does something, he gets arrested, but not convicted? You're charged for everything, but never convicted. So that, to me, that just makes the police department look bad. It just makes it look bad. I tell him what he wants to do. I've told him, and I've recommended stuff to him, and he can take that, with a grain of salt, or he can work with that. I'm not going to intentionally tell any candidate to do something that's ludicrous. I just don't do that. I want it for the protection of the civilians as well as officer safety. I was a candidate. I got beat out, and that's fine. But I liked Mr. Ross's attitude and some of the stuff that he wants to do. At no time, I don't believe that during our Meet the Candidate night that not every candidate was there, but nobody said anything about what they wanted to do, except me. Mr. Roth has also got on board with me by saying that he wants to bring in reserves. He wants to bring in the VIP program. Right now, I think they've got 2 VIPs in Sloan, and they are snowbirds. They should be back by now. Search and rescue, the posse. But he is all in line for wanting to do those things to enhance the sheriff's department, to where if a citizen needs something, they've got somebody that they can go to, rather than right now, they don't have anybody. Nobody. So he wants to do some of the things that I wanted to do, and so this is why I'm supporting him.
And are you saying that you're willing to step in and help him when he does get elected?
If he ever asks for my help, he's got it. And if he does something that I'm not up to standard with or like, I will also let him know that. And it's his option as boss to take it or leave it.
Do you feel that we have that in our society nowadays?
No. Some people say, I'm the boss, and that's the way it is. Rather than, give me your ideas. Give me your input. Okay? That's what makes us better, is that the person at the top will listen and then give you feedback as to why he's not taking your recommendation. And that's great. Okay? You don't have to accept everything that I say, but at least you're listening and giving it some concern and saying, this is why I don't think this is going to work. I did this in the military. That's what made me successful in the military. I was a drill instructor for almost 10 years. And even though a brand new recruit looks like a dork, okay, that doesn't make him stupid. So you got to ask questions. And everybody's afraid to ask a question. They're afraid to ask a question. Well, the dumbest question out there is the one that wasn't asked, to me. So yes, I would help Mr. Ross as much as I could.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the people about this race?
Well, again, I don't want to play her as a sheriff.
What exactly does that look like? I mean,
A player?
A player that you don't want to have.
Well, if you have a complaint against the top cop in the county, and we will say whether you're married or single and it's of the opposite sex, and they don't want your advances, who are you going to complain to? County attorney can't do anything for you because he has to have a complaint. So you could start off with, you can't go to Parker PD, you can't go to Quartzsite. You can start off with DPS, Department of Public Safety. And they're going to say, do you have proof? Do you have pictures? Do you have statements? Do you have audio? Do you have confessions? No. Have a nice day.
Well, I'm confessing though, aren't I? If I'm the one making the complaint against the top cop, I'm going to DPS. I'm the complainant, right? So
Yes.
I've made a complaint.
Yes, and I'm the DPS. And I just asked you, do you have, Alice, do you have pictures? No.
Hmm.
Do you have audio? No. Do you have anything to show me to further my investigation other than the top cop in the county is stalking me? He won't leave me alone. He's on the phone all the time.
I guess I better smart up and take some pictures, huh?
Well, until you can give me something that I can go with, then we go talk to Mr. Roth and say, Mr. Roth, I have a complaint. And that's where it's going to end. Well, I don't know what the heck she's talking about. I don't even know her. Okay? So now you get no satisfaction with that complaint. Now where do you go? Well, I'll go to the Attorney General. Same questions. Alice, do you have statements? Have you complained to the DPS? Yes. What did they say? Same question that you're asking. Have a nice day. Well, I'll go to the governor, if you can get there. Same questions, same answer. So, nothing wrong with having girlfriends if you're single. If you're married, or if you've made some commitment, then that's where you should stay. That's Frank Vidrine's idea. A player is, well, I'll mess with Alice today, and I'll call Miss Roth, see what she's doing. Okay. I don't want that. I don't want that.
That's
just me.
Thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
Good luck, Mr. Roth. If I can help you, I'm just a phone call away.
Awesome.
I'm retired, unless you're doing my ball games, interfering with my ball games, then I gotta turn you down.
Well, if you know of anybody else and could refer us over there, we'd love to interview them as well.
You know, a lot of people are afraid to say anything, and all you're doing is asking questions and their opinions.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Anytime.